Good afternoon. I'd like to thank you for the invitation. I told Brian, I said, all you got to do is offer us lunch and we show up anywhere. So I really appreciate the opportunity to discuss the Collinsville Food Pantry. I've been involved with the Collinsville Food Pantry, I believe, since 2009. We began our mission in the First United Presbyterian Church over 40 years ago. We were in their basement. We were fortunate enough that this past October, we were able to buy our own building in Collinsville on 2009 Mall Street, which if those of you who are not familiar with Collinsville, that's right behind the big Walmart down off of 157. We have now over 6,000 square feet. Previously, we were in a basement and an office at the Presbyterian Church. And although the church loved us and everything, but it got to a point where they were like, you know, you guys are kind of big now. It's time for you to kind of find some place else to go. We were kind of felt like we were the child that it was time to get, you know, move out. And so we did. It's been a wonderful opportunity. And these past few weeks, Brian contacted us through a former volunteer of us. And he says, I have like oranges and grapefruits. Do you want them? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Where are they? And when can we come get them? And so I believe we had 31 boxes. They're all gone. They were passed out through the food pantry and one of our programs called the SOS Soup Kitchen. So I'm going to give you a brief rundown of what the Collinsville Food Pantry does. We do offer pantry hours Tuesdays and Fridays. That means that's when you would come down and get food for your family. We are one of the only food pantries that allow you to come in and shop for food, which means you come in and you can pick out your own food based on how large your family is. We were open during COVID the entire time. We were not allowed to have people in the building, but they were able to come up and we were able to, you know, give them a bag of food. Because of that, because many of the other food pantries had closed in the community, we served larger than Collinsville. We served all the way to patrons in East St. Louis, Madison, Venice, Caseyville, Fairview Heights, Granite City. I don't know if we got anybody north of that, but it was quite eye-opening to have people come from other communities and say, you know, our food pantry doesn't offer this, or they don't give us this much food. And so we are currently still doing that. The reason we are still doing that is because we get money. We get money from the government to continue to operate outside of our area. Normally, food pantries only service those in their community. We are one of the only ones that service outside of the community based on need. So that is our food pantry. Then we have one of our programs called Tote Me Home. Tote Me Home is a backpack program. Has anybody heard of that? Where you give students that are identified as food insecure through the school district, that comes from their teachers and social workers in the school, which basically means they rely heavily on the free and reduced lunch program for breakfast and lunch. That is where they get the majority of their food at. Well, what happens when they go home for the weekend? They're not getting food. They're not getting enough food. So we provide a backpack for them to take home. Right now, we are at 209 bags per week. And we go from all the elementary schools, the intermediate school, the middle school, and we have 5 students at the high school. Now you have to tell me, how hungry are you as a high school student that you would go pick up a bag of food to take home for the weekend? So the need is there, and it's great. We've been doing, I'm trying to remember how long that's been going on. That has been probably under 10 years that we've been doing that. We also have a program that helps the homeless, transient people in the area. We provide a backpack full of necessities for them. We also try to provide any help or assistance that they may require. A lot of the homeless do not want your help. They do not want your assistance, and they do not want to go inside. So we try to work our best with the police and the mental health facilities in the area, which are far and few between and are always full. Our third program is called the SOS Soup Kitchen. And this is one that is dear to my heart because I run the soup kitchen on Tuesday at First United Presbyterian Church. One of our coalition members of the soup kitchen is the CMC Rotary. So the Collinsville Rotary comes, they're actually coming on Tuesday, and they're going to be serving spaghetti. So what we do is we make a takeout dinner, and you pull up starting at 5:30, and we pass out meals until it's gone or until nobody else shows up. So we kind of do it between 5:30 and 6:30, but by 6 o'clock we're done. So for example, this past Tuesday was the Sunrise Kiwanis. They served their specialty, which is a chicken broccoli Alfredo penne pasta with garlic bread and a mandarin orange. And they served 149 meals in about 15 minutes. So we will also do that. We do Tuesdays, and then on Thursdays, it's at St. John UCC Church on Clay Street in Collinsville. So this is also open to anybody in the area who would like to have a free hot meal. And we have noticed, definitely with the rising prices of gas and food and rent, that people are looking for opportunities to be able to save money. Well, this is a way, especially if you have kids, that you can drive through, get 5 meals, take them home. That's 1 meal you don't have to worry about. It's 1 meal you don't have to spend money on to feed people. One of the things we just wrapped up is we do a massive toy drive and food basket giveaway in December that we served this year 175 families. They come in, they register through the Collinsville Township. They each child gets 3 toys apiece that the parents come and pick out. We also offer blankets, coats, hats, gloves, scarves as needed. Each family gets to pick out a board game, a stuffed animal for every child, and stocking stuffers. And then we also have Santa Claus there who gives them a bag of candy to bring home. And then they have an opportunity to take a picture with Santa Claus, so then they can tell their kids that they got the toys from Santa. They also receive a food basket with enough food for a Christmas dinner. And we just finished that up and it went great, had no problems. And we also did that through COVID as well with minimal contact. So I'm trying to think if anything else. We're always looking for volunteers and we're always looking for donations. And donations can come not just in the monetary form, although that's what I prefer, is also if you have excess citrus fruit, we'll be more than happy to come take that. So please remember us next year if you guys have too much. So I will open this up and see if you have any questions for me. I'm pretty good at answering them. Sure.
How many volunteers do you have to do all those jobs?
Well, it depends. Which program are you asking for? All of them? We're probably, since when COVID happened, we did have to, a lot of people were not able to volunteer and we couldn't have as many people in the building. So it's probably bounced back up. I would say we have at least 50 for the pantry. We have the Knights of Columbus Ladies Auxiliary does the Tote Me Home program. They pack the bags, drive the bags to the different schools and drop them off with the aides there. SOS Soup Kitchen, we have 18 members in the coalition. That includes churches and community organizations. And they probably have, each time they serve, between 5 and 10 people that come and help. So I don't know what that is. A lot. We can always use more. Sure.
How do you determine the need?
Well, when you come and you fill out a form for, if you're talking like the food pantry, you fill out a form and they don't turn anybody away the first time. You come in and say, I'm in an emergency situation, this stuff happens. They're like, absolutely, come and we'll give you an emergency bag. And if that's something that you think you're going to be needing on a monthly basis, currently we're helping people twice a month. After that, and oh, I'm sorry, we also do rental and housing assistance and electrical and water bills, but we can't pay it all. Yes.
understand the structure. So like, we have Cleland,
Yes.
are there relationships there, like our shelves are low, what do you guys?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we are actually are considered a, oh shoot, now I'm gonna be, I can't forget the name. We are a one that we pass on if we have excess. A lot of times, like, so we serve on Tuesdays and Fridays. If we get a really large load on Wednesday of either produce or something that we know we're not gonna be able to get rid of by Friday, then we call some of the smaller food pantries that don't have access to the type of donations that we have. And so it works really well. There's a very good communication system that actually improved during COVID because everybody was looking for help. And there was a lot of help out there, but you just had to know who to call. Mhm. Anybody else? Oh, sorry.
I have three.
Okay.
First of all, is the 150, 149, is that a normal Tuesday?
Yes. So last year, our highest number was 2004, or not 2000, 204 meals. That was Molina Healthcare came in and did a turkey dinner. So everybody got a turkey dinner. Turkey dinner is also our most favorite and popular thing that people will drive up and wait for. So we're looking at usually, so when we used to do soup kitchen, it was a sit down meal, pretty much like what you guys are doing today. You walk through a buffet, sit down at a table and you eat and you leave. Well, with COVID, everything changed that we weren't allowed to have people in the building. So we stopped for a while and said, well, this isn't going to last very long. So in November of 2001, we decided we're going to have to do something. And this was the alternative, was doing it as a drive-through. So we count the number of meals that people ask for. Before, we used to count the number of people that would come to the dinner. So we're thinking we probably serve a bit less because when you would come and sit down and eat, most people went through the line maybe 2 or 3 times. So, but I don't know if that helps. So I think with the current financial situation, we're probably between 100, 120 meals on average, twice a week.
I'll go 2 and 3. Are you, is like Schnucks, Deerbergs, do they play any part in giving food?
Oh, I don't have a Deerberg's contact. Do you have one?
I don't.
Oh, well, yes, we do receive donations from the all the grocery stores and the 2 Walmarts that are located in Collinsville. So that includes Schnucks, Aldi's, Rulers. I believe they get donations from Little Caesars Pizza, Starbucks, and sometimes you'll have somebody call you and say, we have an excess of this.
So it's excess stuff, not.
Well, yeah, so the grocery stores give us stuff that they are no longer can allowed to have on the shelves, either based on the best use date or, you know, like the vegetables can only be out for so long, same thing with the meat. So we get that. It's not expired, but it's close to the end of their best used date. We have gone back to collecting in-kind donations. We just had a large one from Fairmont Park, which is now called FanDuel, you know, because they're going to get a casino down there. And they have done a canned good drive for us in exchange for, I think, a reduced ticket or something like that. Yeah.
Last question is, in our school district, the cafeteria gets grants and then they are in charge of the backpack home thing. How come this fell, not that it's great, I'm not saying that, but how come it falls upon you instead of the school district?
Well, that's a good question. I have no idea. We have Sodexo. Do you guys have Sodexo? Yeah.
What is it?
Sodexo is who runs the food program in the Collinsville School District.
No.
Okay, then that might be why.
Okay.
It might be because that is something that they've incorporated into their policy. Ours does not. It's up to us. So, and it was more reached out as a teachers and school social workers saying, this is a problem for us. They were getting kids in school on Monday who they were having a hard time because they were hungry and they weren't getting enough. So teachers were buying food to have in their classroom to make sure these kids could make it till lunchtime. So Yes,
Two more questions.
sure.
Are the meals prepared in the church kitchens themselves?
Yes, we try to do them in a commercially prepared kitchen. So we have 3 churches that participate in the program. They're all vetted by the Madison County Health Department. Nobody here works for the health department, do they? Okay, so we have a very nice agreement with Madison County Health Department. They ignore us and we don't cause any problems. We are considered a potluck and there is no money exchanged. So it's all, it's your decision on whether or not you want to eat the food. You didn't pay for it. So
Who pays for the food that is prepared?
the different groups. So like, for example, the Sunrise Kiwanis, Jan Hayden told me that this last meal that they prepared cost them about $350. They were able to offset that by Thrivent grants from some of their members. They got a 250, is it community action card or something like that? And so each group does something like that. They fundraise. Some churches do it on a monthly basis. Some do it quarterly. Some come once or twice a year. So it's whatever they are comfortable doing.
So if you have a new volunteer group, how many times a year would they be expected?
As many as you'd like. And as many as that we have openings for. So, absolutely. If you guys are interested, you just let me know. It's a lot of fun. Do you know what the Collinsville Rotary does after they serve? They go down to the Old Herald and have drinks. Absolutely. Oh, yes.
Do you have, I know some, like the food pantry here in Edwardsville, some people leave like diapers and stuff like that out front. Is that something that you do at your food pantry?
Well, we don't necessarily encourage it because that encourages theft.
Okay.
People will come by and take it. So if you want to do a donation, just check to see when the pantry is open. They have regular business hours. And if there's something that you'd like to drop off, you just have to call them
Okay.
and they take it.
And then are there other food pantries in the area that do all of the things that you do? Are you the largest group?
I think we're probably the most prolific. I'm not going to slam any food pantry at all because they provide an essential public service. But we have managed to grow to provide more services because of the volunteers that we have had that have been interested in expanding the program, that have noticed that hunger is a really big issue in our area. And I guarantee you, people who are going hungry, they're just not telling you. Yes.
Other than Edwardsville, Collinsville, where are the other food pantries?
Well, almost all, yeah. Oh, I think they're back to almost everybody is open now. Almost all communities have their own food pantry. Some of them are very small. It might be like Cottage Hills, for example, is one that we support. It's run out of the Victory Baptist Church, and it's their members bring food every month to help their community. That's all they can offer. So Belleville has a pretty large food pantry. I'm sorry, I don't really know too many of them because I just shilled for this one. So
Salvation Army and Madison County Cafeteria, both operate all.
Yes, they do. And we do get donations from Salvation Army. They're one of the distributors. That's usually where they get some of the meat from that they hand out to people. So, any other questions? Yes.
There is a very small food pantry on the SIU campus called People Covered, for students and faculty and staff who are unable to order and they can have access. But it also has our on the website.
Yes, we've had SIU students come to the Collinsville Food Pantry, especially when we were in the Presbyterian Church, because we were not far from the bus station. I do not know personally if they've been down to the new building. We're not as close to a bus station as we were before, but we're hoping to work on that with the transit, Madison County Transit.
How many, you mentioned to me about the citrus that we
Mhm.
donated. How many touches do you think that did?
So we passed that out when Walmart served. They did 184 meals, and Orange went in every dinner. we had one of their employees stood outside and offered if people wanted grapefruit, because a lot of people can't have grapefruit. So we didn't want to pass those out. So we got rid of 2 boxes of oranges and a box of grapefruit. The rest went down to the pantry. We served some to on Thursday. And then what we were not able to use went down to the Salvation Army in Granite City. So we try really hard. We don't like waste. We make sure that we share as much as possible. All the pantries do. And so it's a very interesting industry. I was actually telling Brian that this is the first time ever we were approached by a college student who would like to intern for us in the summer. We're like, well, yeah, free help, why not? But apparently there are some schools that are promoting in the business department nonprofits and how to work and run and operate a nonprofit. So, and then found out there was another student as well that was kind of interested to see how we do things, because it is a business, but it's, we're not looking to make money. We're looking to provide services. So like, for example, when I say we get money from the county, it's not money, it's vouchers. It's vouchers that we use to another distributor that accepts that for us to buy stuff. Does that make any sense? Every time I go down to the pantry, I'd learn something new. And so we never really, the money, when we actually collect money, it's used to pay our expenses and our staff and any kind of overhead that we have. I will tell you that our Tote Me Home program, because it is food that is feeding children, we have to verify the chain of command to where that food comes from. So I can't have you bring, some chicken soup, cans of chicken soup from your house. We have to purchase it. So Tote Me Home costs us over $50,000 a year in cash that we have to turn around and buy food either from Sam's or Walmart because it's all packaged up. And they do 5 different menus for the students for different things to take home each week. So that's our most expensive program that we have.